some of you have probably heard, James Gandolfini's estate is a nightmare.
So this is the Tony Soprano guy that just passed away unexpectedly in his early 50s.
Can you imagine making $70 million and then dying and then going,
well, his total estate was worth $70 million, and he was smart enough to actually have an estate plan.
Yeah,
which is mind-boggling.
But it was the wrong estate plan.
It was the wrong estate plan.
$30 million. He's writing a check for $30 million. So what we've done is we've invited Mike Baker from Baker Law Group in last minute, and I appreciate Mike. You there?
Yes, I'm here, Rick. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. Better than James Gandolfini's family, I'll tell you that. Listen, I first want to thank you for, one, being part of the show. I want to thank you for calling us last minute to really educate the clients on what the hell just happened. Let's give them a little bit of a kind of a 10,000-foot level of what did happen.
As everyone knows or has heard the term, there's a few things that are certain, and one of them is death, and the other one is taxes. And you have a situation here where both federal and state government impose taxes on a state over a certain threshold. For federal purposes, you're allowed an exemption of $5.25 million, which means you can leave that much money to anyone other than your spouse free of tax. New York is very similar to Massachusetts, and he was a resident of New York. There's $1 million threshold before the state imposes a so-called death tax.
We were talking about the buyer's side last time, and again, I think you guys got some great ideas and information there. Let's flip the switch a little bit. Let's talk about the sellers. I think a lot of sellers are on the fence because they just think it's going to cost them a lot of money to get their house in ship-shop shape.
And I think we call that what? Listing on a budget.
Listing on a budget.
I love that. So tell us, how do we accomplish that?
Everybody has a budget in mind, and the size of your budget is relative to the homeowner. But everyone's essentially trying to do the best job with what they have. So what we're discussing is basically what kind of projects and upgrades can somebody do to maximize their profitability as far as selling their home. Because even though it is their home, they love it very much. We want to help them try and get as much out of that property as possible.
The number one thing when we look around is cleanliness. Everybody wants to walk into a clean house when you're a buyer. You don't want to see mess everywhere. And there's certain things that when you're living inside a house you completely forget about, and they don't bother you. The scuff marks on the wall, the tile grout missing, they just don't bug you. But when you're walking into a house as a buyer, those things just stand out and you zero in on them. So one of the first things is, other than cleanliness, which is hugely important, is wallpaper. Friends, don't let friends put up wallpaper.
Yeah, if someone calls you and says, I am having a wallpaper party, I am getting beers and I'm getting pizzas, everybody come over.
It should be a taking the
Please
wallpaper
no.
down party.
Absolutely.
Please.
But how are these sellers taking this advice you have to give them? I mean, this is vanity they're attached to.
Exactly. Some of them are attached to it.
Well, their
and
father built it 25 years ago.
Well, sometimes you
That's
get to both
sometimes
ends. You get the wife saying, I've been telling him forever to change this. Thank you for reiterating that. And then they change it. And sometimes it's a little bit of a battle, but I think in the end, when they see the return, they're happy.
What about appliances?
So, I mean, if it's at all possible, if it's, again, budget's being relative, if there's any money left over, what you want to look at next are some of the higher dollar items like stainless steel appliances, still very popular. They look very clean, very sharp. So people are looking into those things. I mean, for around $1,500 or so, there are several different places you can go to find a nice package where you have your stove, refrigerator, microwave, above the range. And that's going to do a lot it goes a long way.
Not much. Hey, we're going to go in about 30 seconds. So just, again, just wanted to just touch, has a kid from Newton head to California and crush it. That you had the opportunity, $1 million listing. How'd that come about? How do you get Ollie and I our own show on Bravo? Let's see. What else we got here?
What was the last biggest listing you actually sold recently?
Most expensive one bedroom ever sold, $20,100,000.
$20,100,000. One bedroom. One bedroom.
But
You're a
had
magician.
a hell of a view.
You are a magician.
That thing's got to be in a cloud somewhere. That's crazy. Listen, first and foremost, what's a kid from Newton, growing up on Newton? You don't have to give the address, okay? But how did you get to LA?
I'm not there anymore, so it's fine. But grew up on Farina Road, went to Newton South, went to Syracuse University, and then made my way out to LA, actually to originally become a producer. Always wanted to be in the entertainment business, but ended up buying my first place when I got out here. Ended up reselling it about 6 months later for a good hefty profit, and then I quit my job in the mailroom the next day.
Very nice. You did a pit stop in New York, didn't you?
Yeah, quick stop in New York, but my brother Matt is out here as well, and we're partners, and just trying to take the real estate business by storm.
Is it true you really have brought the East Coast mentality to West Coast? Does that make a difference in how you conduct yourself and your motivation?
Yeah, I love when people say that because I love representing the East Coast, and I have. People say, would you be able to do the same thing in Boston or New York? And I don't think so, because people just have a different mentality out there. I just say it how it is. A lot of people just kind of beat around the bush out here, and I pride myself on being upfront, honest. When I go on a listing appointment, I'm not the guy who's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what the truth is, and you're either going to list with me or you're not. And that's kind of how we built our business and how we got to where we are today.
Given the clientele that you're servicing, how is that truth received?
Respect. They respect it. Listen, the clients that I drive around with all day long, these are heads of industries, CEOs, owning businesses, athletes, superstars. These people are smart. They got to a point in their life where they can, spend $10-20 million on a house. They're doing something right, and they respect that. They have all these yes people all day long telling them stuff, and I'm the guy who, when it comes to real estate and their money, they know I treat their money like it's my own, and I'm gonna give it to them how it is.